नमः सर्वेभ्यः। प्रश्नाः सन्ति चेत् अन्ते पश्यामः। कक्षायाः अन्ते समयावकाशं दास्यामि, यत्र
अस्तु।
प्रश्नानां कृते अवकाशः भवति। संस्कृतसाहित्यपरिचयः इत्यस्मिन् इदानीं खण्डकाव्यम् अथवा खण्डकाव्यानां विषये, तेषु अपि च दूतकाव्यानां विषये, दूतकाव्यम् इति खण्डकाव्यस्य एव उपवर्णनम् अस्ति तत्र। छात्रैः पठितुं शक्यते। झटिति ये पठितुं शक्नुवन्ति ते हस्तम् उन्नयन्तु, अहं पृच्छामि। आम्, निरञ्जनवर्ये, खण्डकाव्यम् इत्यस्मिन् उपभागस्य पठनं भवत्या कर्तुं शक्यते।
खण्डकाव्यं संस्कृतपद्यकाव्यस्य काव्यस्य अपरः प्रभेदः खण्डकाव्यं। खण्डकाव्यं स्वरूपेण भावगीतम् इव।
One
महा
minute. So, aparaha prabhedaha means another variation, another subdivision. Okay. So, that's what aparaha prabhedaha he means. And khanda, as you know, means like a part. Okay. Kind of that sense is there. So, that's what. And Bhavageetam iva iti. So, Bhavageetam ityukte kim ityukte, the kind of songs that generate emotions in us. Okay. Not necessarily very classical, sometimes adapted based on classical, but more laukika verses are composed with feelings. So that is Bhavageetam. It's a kind of paddhati. So they're saying this Kandakavya is like such a ruchikara sangeetam iva iti. Patatori.
रस उत्पन्न अस्ति वा तत्र?
हाँ, मां अत्र अस्ति एव।
महाकाव्ये इव खण्डकाव्ये सर्गसङ्ख्याविषये श्लोकसङ्ख्याविषये वा कोऽपि नियमः नास्ति।
Whereas a Mahakavya has a lot of restrictions. There has to be Sarga, Upasarga, and there has to be so many Sargas. There have to be heroes, heroines of that and this quality. Lots of rules are there. Mahakavya has very important rules. Like, for example, one Sarga should be more or less bound in one type of Vritta, etc.
छन्दस्
Excuse me.
छन्दसपि न?
That's what, Vritta.
अह।
So, but in Kandakavya, there is no such a heavy restriction. It's more free. Yeah. It's more subject based, I guess.
केषुचित् काव्येषु पञ्चशाः श्लोकाः भवेयुः, केषुचित् शतसप्तशतं श्लोकाः
Shat Saptashatam.
षट्सप्तशतं श्लोकाः भवेयुः।
There may be just 5, there may be 700, who knows, like that.
श्लोकेषु परस्परं सम्बन्धः आवश्यकः इत्यपि नास्ति।
So it's not like the only shlokas, carry some thread through them. Those many will, but not necessary. You can have muktakas, like.
प्रत्येकं श्लोकः अपि पृथक् काव्यम् इव रसभावादि आदि परिपूर्णः भवति।
So rasabhavadibhi paripurna, rasabhavadi paripurna, like that. So even each shloka has some content in it. Like, for example, you can say Subhashita Ratnavalihi prayah atra bhavitum arhati iti manye.
शृङ्गारः, नीतिः, भक्तिः, धर्मः, सन्देशः इत्यादयः विषयाः खण्डकाव्येषु वर्णिताः दृश्यन्ते।
See, Shringara Shatakam, Niti Shatakam, Vairagya Shatakam, like that we have seen Bhartrihari. I think those works belong in, looks like in the Kandakavya, because sometimes there is some categorization. In a few shlokas will address certain subject, like, but it need not, they will jump around. But generally there is some common thread that they are all talking about Shringara. Here they're all talking about Niti. I mean, Niti means Nakanda Niti Niyama, what rules and regulations like that. And Bhakti about devotion, Shringara being about romance, things like this. Sandeshaha is the important part, because next they're going to talk about a
कालिदास
little bit.
मेघदूतम्।
So Sandesha means some kind of messaging. Okay. So some kind of messenger messaging type of Kandakavya is a kind of a style in Samskrita Kavya. Just now we saw the Hamsa is being
Hamsadutam.
used. Hamsa is being used as a duta by Nala, etc. So that kind of romanticization is quite abound in Samskrita Kavya. Thanks, Varya. I'll ask someone else to continue. Gopalakrishnan Jayashri दूतकाव्यम् इत्यस्मिन् उपभागं पठतु.
नमस्ते महोदय. दूतकाव्यं खण्डकाव्यस्य एव अपरः प्रभेदः दूतकाव्यम्. इष्टं
So again, aparaha prabhedah is a repetition. So within Kandakavya, another sub-variant is Dutakavya.
इष्टं जनं प्रति दूतद्वारा सन्देश प्रेषणमेव अत्रत्यं वैशिष्ट्यं रामायणे.
So sending a message to the one that is liked, that is the kind of the speciality of these Duta Kavyas. That means there is a Duta involved, there is a messenger involved.
रामायणे रामः सीतां प्रति आञ्जनेयद्वारा सन्देशं प्रेषयति.
So if you can say, okay, the Hanuman's meeting of Sita, etc., there is a kind of a sub-segment there which is like a Duta Kavya. All that Sundara Kanda Varnana, you can say there is a Duta Kavya. There is a embedding of certain description of Sri Lanka as he overflight, all the description of Samudra, all the events that happen along the way, and also what he sees in Ashokavana, description of the various guards, lady guards who are protecting Sita. There is a lot of quality of a Duta Kavya, but it's not distinct, it's part of Ramayana anyway.
नलः दमयन्ती प्रति हंसद्वारा सन्देशं प्रेषयति.
Damayantim Karmapada. Okay, so he sends through a Hamsa the message. We just reading about this earlier. Yeah.
एतस्मात् सन्देश प्रेषणव्यवहारात्.
Avyana. Preshana Vyavaharat. Don't add an extra akara, otherwise it will become avyavahara, which means some kind of vyabhichara. No. So, Sandesha Preshana Vyavaharat. By the nature of activity, by sending a message. Yes.
सन्देश प्रेषण व्यवहारात् प्रभावितः सन् कालिदासः मेघदूतं लिखितवान् इति प्रतिभाति.
It seems as if Kalidasa was influenced by this kind of messaging aspect of how things are there in history also he has seen, and so he said, okay, let me also create something in that order. Okay, it's all some additional sentences to explain the Meghaduta as a Duta Kavya. It's one of the masterpieces of Duta Kavyas. This is very nice. In our daily class that I attend, our Guru Varya also read this and taught it for us, and it's brilliant.
Yeah, in Telugu also there is a song. People, write songs.
This has been the storyline has been picked up in all local languages and books have been written. But the original kavya, in addition to the storyline, which itself is beautiful, there is a descriptive nature to these verses, which is very nice also. Alankaras, etc. Yeah.
Meghadutatah eva.
Meghadutatah, tasil pratyaya is there.
Meghadutatah eva दूतकाव्यानाम् आरम्भः जातः इति वक्तुं शक्यते.
So the author here is saying almost Meghaduta set a precedent for other Duta Kavyas to follow, as if literally Kalidasa created a category with his Meghaduta. Perhaps that's what is the comment here. That means Meghaduta of Kalidasa is quite ancient compared to the others, is the opinion. As we know, dates are very loose.
Meghadutam Kandakavyasya udaharanam iti purvam suchitam asti. Dutakavyam खण्डकाव्यस्य एव अन्यः प्रभेदः इति कारणतः तत्रापि तस्य नाम लिखितम्.
Okay. Earlier also Meghaduta was referred. That is because Dutakavya is not something distinct from Kandakavya if you are confused. Because some students are not able to understand this Aparaha Beda. That is one Prabeda, this is another Prabeda. But they forget to read Kandakavyasya Aparaha Prabeda. There it was Samskrita Padya Kavyasya. Samskrita Padya Kavya is the entire verse repository of Samskrita. This is one subset. In that, another subset is Dutakavya. So here they are explaining, look, I mean, Dutakavya and Kandakavya are not different. Dutakavya is a variant. So don't get confused. That's why they have given this additional confirmatory illustration. Thanks, Bhagini.
धन्यवादः.
So let us choose Vijay Agnihotri Varya. Meghadutam Patatu.
आम महोदय. मेघदूतं कश्चित् यक्षः शापवशात् स्वप्रियायाः बहुदूरे रामगिर्याश्रमे निवसति.
So this storyline of Meghaduta is being explained now. Okay. So Yaksha. So for those who are not aware, there are Devas who belong in the Swargaloka, Indra being their periodic leader. And there are some demigods associated with this clan. So Yaksha, Kubera is supposed to be Kubera, the god of richness or all the money, is supposed to be the leader of these Yakshas. So there is this concept of Yakshas, Gandharvas, and other demigods. Okay, Gandharvas tend to be more music, and there is also one more musical clan. I'm not exactly remembering the name. So these guys are all auxiliary demigods. Kinnaras, yeah. So Gandharva, Kinnaras are the musicians. So they all have certain role. Sometimes they are having a supplementary role to the duties to be conducted by gods. Okay. So in this case, this Yaksha, it's after all a Kalpanika story of Kalidasa, completely Kalpanika. Okay. No other source. It is just his own complete Kavi Kalpana. So due to a shapa, as you know, the concept of shapa, we all know Indians. So somebody cursed him. So to carry out the curse, he ends up very far from his consort. Okay. And ends up in Ramagiri Ashrama, which is somewhere in middle India, Madhya Pradesh areas. Okay. So, or even further south, I am not sure. Okay. So this is where he is kind of living in isolation due to the curse because he has done some mistake.
आषाढ़ मासस्य आरंभे मेघं दृष्ट्वा सः विरहोत्कण्ठितः भवति.
Virahotkantitaha. Utkantitaha means overcome with emotion. Utkantana means his throat got overwhelmed is the sense. Okay. I mean, it came up. What that necessarily means is he started getting a very sad feeling in his guts. So what happens? Necessarily the throat reacts to it. So utkantana is the sense of choking that you get from a kind of a sad feeling. The sad feeling here is from Viraha, which we have understood already, because he is staying away from his consort. So Priya. Okay, so this is how. Yeah. So he sees a cloud. I'm sure a good sized, lovely cloud he ends up seeing. And since he is alone and all this, what will happen? Like a madcap, he will start associating with the cloud. So that's what next happens. Continue, Arya.
तं मेघमेव दूतं कृत्वा तद्द्वारा प्रियायै सन्देशं प्रेषयति सः.
So now don't go like some fools do in the internet today saying that, oh, cloud messaging was there in Kalidasa's time, but it is there literally. What is doing? He says, okay, hey, you Megha, you understand my feelings. You are my messenger because you are able to travel far. So now I know the direction you're headed is favorable. So please take this message and convey it to my Priya. So cloud message, very interesting.
रामगिरितः अलकानगरीं प्रति गमनमार्गस्य मार्गे स्थितानां नगराणां नदीनां जनपदानां च वर्णनं पत्नीं प्रति सन्देशनिरूपणं च अतीव मनोहरशैल्या अत्र निरूपितम् अस्ति.
This it's literally now once the cloud departs from this yaksha, it is actually a travelogue of the cloud. The recording in this kavya is like a travelogue where literally what he sees down from up there, from he's going across in the sky. So literally, what all he sees is being colorfully explained by Kalidasa. So it becomes like a travelogue as he travels across and how he needs to stop at some place to take rest. And it's kind of funny, almost humanizing the cloud. It's a very imaginative kavya. Okay, so the place where this fellow is staying is Ramagiri, but his hometown is Alakanagari. Where is this? All the way in the Himalayas, where actually it is a
Kubera
Parvata
is the
next.
capital, sir. Kubera lives in Alkapuri.
Yeah, I was going to say that next.
Oh, sorry.
So we already discussed that yakshas are Kubera's consorts. Yeah, I mean followers. Okay, so where is this? Is actually, as you know, Kubera is also a kind of a neighbor of Kailasa Parvata. I mean Kubera Parvata. So kind of it's imagined to be in those regions somehow. Okay, so that's where his town was there. Like so, he had his own mini town apart from Amaravati of Indra, etc. It's nice imagination, all this in the Himalayas.
Can you
So,
please repeat the name of the city?
huh?
Alkanagari.
Alaka Nagari is there, no, Bagini? Alaka Nagari. Don't, I mean, sometimes in India of today, no, some other place may be called Alaka and all that. So there is actually Alaka Nadi also is there, Alaka Nanda and some things like that.
Yes,
So
sir. Alaka
sometimes it's difficult, but if somebody may have brought some association. Yeah. But if you see Meghaduta itself, there is within Meghaduta, there is clarity about its neighborliness to Kailasa, etc. As I remember from the classes. Okay. Oh, every verse of Kalidasa was like a painting in that class. So at that time, AI and all was a little fancy even for me. I was playing around with what I can do with AI, like a Dumbo. So I every day when I shared the recording, I used to generate a picture using AI, which kind of pretty much matched what Kalidasa was describing. So it was a very interesting exercise for me in those days. Yeah. Bagini, you just read this again. Yeah.
Should I read?
Sorry, Varya. Come, Shamyatam.
Okay. रामगिरितः अल्कानगरीं प्रति गमनमार्गस्य मार्गे स्थितानां नगराणां नदीनां जनपदानां च वर्णनं पत्नीं प्रति सन्देशनिरूपणं च अतीव मनोहरशैल्या अत्र निरूपितम् अस्ति.
100% agree with this, having read the original with help of Guru Varya. Yeah.
मेघदूतस्य शैल्या सौन्दर्येण च प्रभाविताः सन्तः बहवः अनन्तरं दूतकाव्यानि रचितवन्तः.
So following the style of Meghaduta and how he uses his kavitva to describe, others followed suit and created their own Duta Kavya. Even all the way in the south, our Vedanta Desika, who has done some excellent Sanskrit works. He was in the lineage of Ramanuja, whose namesake I am. Okay, so he wrote his own Duta Kavya, I think related to some Ramayana aspect. I don't know, but I know that he has written something, and sometime we will get to that in our class, is the hope we have. Yeah.
Abhyudaya?
I think that must be it.
Hamsa Sandesha.
Hamsa Sandesha, correct. Not Yadav
Yadav
Abhyudayam
Abhyudayam
is more Dharmika Granth. So I think Hamsa Sandesha sounds like, yeah. Thanks, Varya. So that's very compact this time, right? So Khanda Kavya Varnanam and their Duta Kavya and specifically Meghaduta. They didn't go about it too much. But the book also has some list there. So Meghadutam and Rutusamharaha, or Rutusamhara may not be a Duta Kavya, but you see Rutu means season, and Samhara means some kind of collection type of thing. So here this may be actually, whereas Meghaduta is a geographic describer, which describes the geography of the scene as it unfolds, as it travels, the cloud travels. The Rutu Samhara must be something about the time travel through a year of various Ritus. So at some point it will be interesting to get that, what is there in that. Okay, so some kind of progression is there in both. One is space and another is time. Okay, and then Gata Saptashati. So you can see 700 verses are there in Gata Sapta Halarajaha. Arya Saptashati, Shringara Shatakam, Amaru Shatakam. Shringara Shatakam, Bhartruhari, you can immediately list Vairagya Shatakam and Niti Shatakam of Bhartruhari under that. They are all in the same style. So lots of this Shatakam, Saptashati, all these things belong to this. And the Bhamini Vilasa, one verse from which we also studied, right? Bhamini Vilasa of Jagannatha, okay, is also a Khanda Kavya. Because again, it has individual verses which each stand on their own legs to give us some bodha. But Meghaduta and Rutu Samhara must be having a thread in them clearly, because there is a storyline involved. So it's not like it is not permitted, it need not be there, is what is mentioned. परस्पर संबंधः आवश्यकः इति नास्ति, परन्तु भवति चेत् चिन्ता नास्ति, तथापि भवितुमर्हति इति वक्तुम्. So yeah, so remember easy, Meghadutam, Rutusamhara, Kalidasa. Okay, and then we know this Bhartruhari Shatakatrayam, easy to remember. Others, Bhamini Vilasa, Jagannatha, because we have touched on this fellow's tragic life a little bit in the previous classes. Maybe it's easy to remember that also. Not a problem. So this Duta Kavyas, in fact, they have not mentioned. Meghadutam comes at the top. Okay, Anya Duta Kavyani, maybe you should say, because that's what they're saying here. That's the bracket thing. And don't get confused, it belongs in both. Okay, Hamsa Sandeshaha Vedanta Deshikaha. Oh, here only it is there. What? I'm blind or something. So Vedanta Deshikaha. Then Pavana Dutam Dhoyi Kavihi. What a name. Chandradutam Jambu Kavihi. Ghatakarparaha. Oh, he named himself as the Kavya also. Interesting. Or maybe the Kavya Nama is Ghatakarpara. Sometimes these guys keep Kavya Nama. Even Vedanta Desika is a Desika, we say in South, Deshika in Samskritam, is also a Kavya Nama. He has some Venkatadwari here, some such name, something like that.
Sir, actually, this Vedanta Deshikas, lot of slokas are there, no, in Sanskrit.
Oh yeah, he prolific author. Some of them are related to Sri Vaishnava
Yes.
Sampradaya.
Yeah.
Some of them are just pure Sanskrit kavyas of great standing, just like Hamsa Sandesha. He has written a lot of masterpieces. One is,
Great.
one is supposed to be, he wrote 1,000 verses for Paduka. I mean the
Paduka Sahasra.
Paduka Sahasram. So Paduka Sahasram, the story goes that he due to a competition, a challenge or something, he came up with that in one night or something like that, is the Pratiti. So that's another masterpiece and very tough nut also to crack. But whether one night or not, even one lifetime, I can't write one verse. So I will accept this magic.
So these lines belong to that Vedanta Deshika. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantri Amrita Kalasahastaya. No?
Praya. न जानामि भवती वदति चेत् तथा स्यात् वर्ये स्वीकरिष्यामि.
Later. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantri Amrita Kalasahastaya Sarva Ame Nasnaya Trailokya Nadaya Sri Mahavishnuve Namaha Sri Kavitarkika Simhasya Sarvatantra Swatantrasya Sriman Nigamanta Mahaguroha Anugrahena Sakala Deha Vyadi Sakala Vida Deha Vyadi Nivrutyathyam Sri Desika. Then his name comes. I forgot after that, sir.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's introductory verses to some work, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Bhagin. Okay. So now, if we have a few more hands up.
Sir, what is Ghatakarpara? Is it the name?
I don't know. The Gatha obviously is
Pot.
Kumbha. What? I don't know. Karpa Shabda. I have to look up what the
No,
genesis of.
is it the
It is
name of
interesting.
the poem or is the author? I mean,
No,
that's
no, no.
the.
See, his poem is Gatakarpara and author is also Gatakarpara. So maybe that is a Kavya Nama, something like that.
Mhm. Okay.
Some people keep their Kavya Nama there.
Mhm.
Some people don't, we don't even know the names because others imagine it to be something. Kalidasa doesn't call out his name anywhere. Samskrita Granthakara Parichaya. So now some, authors relevant to what we are studying, few more authors are being picked up. So paragraph onward, some people can read here. So let me, Anne Varia has her hand up, so I'll give her the chance. Please, Varia.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. कालिदासः वरकविः कविकुलगुरुः इति प्रसिद्धस्य कालिदासस्य कालः देशः व्यक्तित्वम् इत्यादीनां विषये निर्णेतुं योग्यं प्रमाणं न लभ्यते.
So the standard disclaimer we read everywhere. So one few things here is he is called Kavikula Guru. So he's the literal guru of the Vamsha of Kavis, like that. Varakavi, another name title to him, great poet. Okay. So these kind of things, but we don't know much about his name, his Vyaktitva. But I think through his Kavya we know a lot about his Vyaktitva. Very jolly person, very colorful person, is very clear. Okay. And unrestricted. If he doesn't have any untouchables, is what is clear to me when I read this thing. Okay. So he will be equally lucid in describing a place or describing a lady. So this kind of unrestricted freedom you can see in his works. Okay. He doesn't have any lajja about, this is untouchable, this can be talked about, nothing. I mean, he considers everything as something honorable to be described in good detail. Yeah. Continue, Bhagini.
केषाञ्चन विदुषाम् अभिप्रायः यत् सः चतुर्थशतके आसीत् इति.
So some guess that he was, in the 4th century.
तस्य काव्येषु उज्जयिन्याः वर्णनम् अधिकं दृश्यते इति कारणतः तस्य जन्मस्थलम् उज्जयिनी स्यात् इति अभिप्रायः अस्ति.
So there is a kind of prolific reference to Ujjayini and its description. So I'm sure it even comes in Meghadutam, perhaps. I need to getting old. So there is an opinion that he might be from there, because there is always a tendency, more desire to explain about one's own place. But that he was well traveled is very clear, because one cannot write like him if he has not seen the various parts of India. That he was brilliantly well traveled and had a keen eye is clear from the way he describes, or at least he collected good travelogue reports from others to be able to do so. Either way.
कालिदासः रघुवंशः
Raghuvamsham Karmapada.
रघुवंशं कुमारसम्भवम् इति महाकाव्यद्वयं ऋतुसंहारं मेघदूतमिति खण्डकाव्यद्वयं मालविकाग्निमित्रं विक्रमोर्वशीयम् अभिज्ञानशाकुन्तलम् इति नाटकत्रयं च लिखितवान्.
Okay, I said Dvitiya Vibhakti. No, all are in Prathama Vibhakti because of the iti. So it's a quoted Prathama Vibhakti references to them. Raghuvamsham, Kumar. So you see, like one guy, how many masterpieces is unbelievable. Okay, so he was like, what was somebody Shakespeare to English. Yeah. So Kalidasa was to Samskrita Kavya Prapancha. Of course, not to that Itihasa, Purana, etc. You live there, other big stuff, but in the modern sense, and also to use more complicated vrittas and use more alankaras, etc. You see epitome of all that in Kalidasa's works everywhere. Nowhere he wastes his energy with the dumb sentences. Yeah. So Lada, so many natakas, so many rupakas actually they should say. So many rupakas. This means drishya kavyas, and then this kind of kandakavya, mahakavya. What he didn't touch, that's the thing you get, wonder you get from his works.
So his passion for writing is clearly seen, no, in every sentence.
Yes, yes. We are seeing the few verses, we see his passion.
Yeah. So like that only.
It takes 1 hour to analyze. Yeah. Now let's not let's Anne-Marie continue. Yeah.
कवित्वं शास्त्रज्ञानं लोकानुभवः
भावः
एतेषां भावः
लोकानुभावः
लोकानुभावः एतेषां त्रयाणाम् अपि सुन्दरः समन्वयः कालिदासस्य कृतिषु दृश्यते.
Whereas they have written Lokanubhavaha, I agree with Anne-Marie. Anubhavaha is the form. I don't think there is a sense of bhava needs, Anubhava needed. That's Anubhava is also a pada, but I think they mean worldly experience. Lokanubhavaha maybe. That's why she even read it that way without even almost, it is implicit from what it's being told. Kavitva, Shastrajnana, Lokanubhava, like that. Okay, so this is what he see. Lokanubhava is what I talk about his experience of geography of the nation. Okay, and Shastra Jnana, the way he weighs dharma, etc., is clear from his verses. Kavitva, to I mean, probably only thing he didn't do was to write a Kavya Shastra Grantha, but other Kavya Shastra Grantha authors necessarily need to pull Kalidasa's verses to describe the rasa, bhava, etc. So this is how powerful he was. Yeah.
भारतीयानां उत्कृष्टा जीवनपरम्परा अपि तासु प्रतिबिम्बिता अस्ति.
So one more thing, actually, this is so true. How do we know how people lived? Right? There are few evidences available to us. The carvings in the various temples that we see, sometimes outside in the outside ramparts. A lot of descriptive carvings are there. But they are like 1,500 year old. Things before that have been destroyed. A few that have remained are not too more than 1,500 year old nowadays. Okay, at least we know that far up go how life was for sure. But these kavyas are almost, some of them are undatedly old. So when you see a certain description, you can kind of repaint how the life was and connect with our present day lives. For example, when Dilipa moves from his capital to Vasishta Maharshi's place, there is a description of the drive along the way. Okay, how people stop him and celebrate, and how he sits, stays with them and partakes in their activity and allows them to honor him and then moves on. All these kind of things. So there is a certain you start identifying with how things happen today also to some extent, though it happens in Mercedes car, and those days it happened with a nice Ashwa Shakata. But you see the parallelism. Thanks, Bhagini. No, I think yeah, taso pratibhimbita. Pratibhimbita means reflected. Bimba means some image. Pratibimba means reflected image, like that. Okay. Thanks, Anne-Marie. You can mute back. Yeah. Let me invite. There was an Anju earlier, but there is an Anjana also. Let me invite her. Anjana Nair, Variye. Continue reading. Anjana Nair, sorry. Anjana, another one is also there. Okay. But Anjana Nair is the one I called. She had her hand raised.
Thank you, sir. अत्यन्तं समुचितायाः उपमायाः निबन्धने कालिदासः अतीव निपुणः.
So he is master. He's a master in encoding. Nibandhana here means encoding or embedding. Okay. exclusive and very appropriate upama alankaras. Okay, not just upama for the sake of upama. Upama of very high quality, where you have to think what all, oh, you say, oh, I couldn't have thought in that kind of equivalence like that. Beautiful similes.
तस्य सर्वासु कृतिषु एषः अंशः स्फुटं दृश्यते.
So his similes stand out.
उपमा कालिदासस्य इति उक्तिस्तु सुप्रसिद्धा एव.
Actually, there is a larger verse. Okay, in that larger verse, 1/4 is this upama kalidasasya magasya trayo gunaha, something like that. Bharavehe arthagauram. You see, second, one more leg is here. Bharavehe arthagauram upama kalidasasya mage santi trayo gunaha. And one more pada I am not able to.
Dandi padalalityam.
Padalalityam. Dandinaha padalalityam. Thank you. So Dandi's padalalityam. Padam is play of words of Dandi. The upama of Kalidasa, the heavy, what you call heavy, not heavy in the sense of bad, well-weighted, meaningful nature of Bharavi's kritis are great. And then Maga is able to master all three and include all those things in his kavya. Some Maga lover has written that verse for sure. Okay. Continue, Bhagini.
न केवलं संस्कृतसाहित्यम् अपि तु समग्रं भारतीयसाहित्यमेव कालिदासात् प्रभावितम् अस्ति इति वक्तुं शक्यते.
Yeah, his works are so good that quite good high quality translations have been done into Indian languages, and they are also read and understood. Or the Samskrita Moola is kept, and then the lot of Kannada, for example, Kannada explanation for all that is also provided. Okay, so people have rewritten his masterpieces in other languages, including some kavya even in them, in the style of how he has tried to do. But yeah.
अतः एव सः वस्तुतः कविकुलगुरुः.
So he is literally the guru because others have followed him like that. Okay. So remember, Vyasa and Valmiki, etc., are not being dethroned or anything like that. We put one line. Okay. There is one horizontal line. All these Itihasa Grantha, Puranas, and all that come above that line, and all these things come below that line. Then we draw one more line on top of all those Puranas, Itihasa, etc., and put all the Veda Sahitya above that. Okay, that's our style. So we say that's one category that is untouchable by the category below. Then there is another category more further below, which is the more touchable category of what we call this Kalidasadi Kavinam Kavya Sahitya.
Should I continue?
No, thanks. Bhagini, there are too many hands. Yeah. So let me call Lakshmi Krishna.
नमस्ते सर.
Namaste.
भारवेः भारवेः जन्मनाम दामोदरः.
So Bharavi's origin, see, that's what Bharavi is, his Kavya Nama. It's very clear from this. See, Janma Nama, Kavya Nama. So concept of real name or name from birth, and then name that is a title to him. Either he himself chose to identify with, or others called him so. Damodara. Okay. Damodara. So this one is actually a Krishna's Visheshana also, Damodara. One with a very, what you call, controlled waist. That means he was bodily beautiful.
Tied by a Rassi, no, sir?
No. I think take Dama here, Dama. Yeah, you can take that, a waist tied by a thread as one, but that is so lame as to say, okay, one who had a slim waist and a flat stomach, Dama here in the sense of bounded. Yeah.
एतस्य पिता नारायण स्वामी. दामोदरः चालुक्यराज्यस्य विष्णुवर्धनस्य मित्रम् आसीत्. वर्धनस्य. Yes, sir. विष्णुवर्धनस्य मित्रम् आसीत्.
So this, you see, Vishnuvardhana and all, Chalukya Raja. We are all coming down to Karnataka, Tamil Nadu regions, down south here. Okay, so very interesting.
एषः गङ्गराजस्य दुर्विनीतस्य आस्थाने
Durvinitasya, one word, Durvinitasya.
नीतस्य आस्थाने पल्लवराजस्य सिंहविष्णोः आस्थाने च किञ्चित् कालम् आसीत् इत्यपि ज्ञायते.
So this guy was so good. I mean, he was sought after in the other courts of the other kings also. So not only he was a friend of, or basically probably even a court kavi of Vishnuvardhana, of Chalukyas, even Gangas, okay, upper Karnataka. If you go to near Shirsi in that area and all that, you will see Ganga kingdom's grand temples, beautiful. Okay, so Gangas. And the fellow king is named Durvinita. Again, like Duryodhana, no? So one whose Vinita Bhava, one whose great understated behavior is undefeatable by others. That is Durvinita. Okay? Doesn't mean he's a one with a bad Vinita. Okay, so don't read it wrongly. So, and also Pallava kings. So, which kingdom he was not there? Chalukyas, Gangas, Pallavas. So, looks like he was quite mobile. He was so good and he was well sought after and honored in various places. What is nice to know is that such mobility of the intelligentsia existed, right? That's nice. Yeah.
क्रिस्तशके षष्ठे शतके भारविः आसीत्.
So 6th century.
किरात अर्जुनीयं भारवेः सुविख्यातं काव्यम्.
So this is a sub story of Mahabharata. So they will explain. Yeah.
किरात अर्जुनीयं महाभारते विद्यमानम् एव कथावस्तु स्वीकृतं भारवीः
स्वीकृत्य लेबन्त.
स्वीकृत्य लेबन्त. ओके सर. स्वीकृत्य भारवीः एतत् महाकाव्य रचितवान् अस्ति.
So this style, it's still, this Kiratarjunya is still very popularly available and read, etc. That's why it is still there. But this is the style. Asit can be used also, but Rachitavan asti. I mean, no need to go to past tense. So Rachitavan carries that Bhutakridanta sense. Okay. So using the subject of Mahabharata as a Kathavastu, he, as the subject line, he has created with his own further imagination an expanded, beautiful Mahakavya called Kiratarjuniya.
विशिष्टाः अर्थगर्भितानां वाक्यानां.
No, you cannot break it, Bhagini. If you break it, you have to do Vigraha Vakya.
Okay.
Vishishtartha Garbhitanam. What all components are there? Can you break down the components of that samasa?
Vishishtavan.
No. Vishishta number 1, Artha number 2.
Artha number 2. Garbhita
number 3. Then that is Vibhakti Pratyaya. Okay, Bahuvachana Vibhakti Pratyaya. So Vishishtaihi Artaihi Garbhitam Vishishtartha Garbhitam Tesham Vishishtartha Garbhitanam. Like that. Vakyam ityasya visheshanattvena. So this is how you have to think when you look at. So that's why when you read, one skill you have to develop with Samskritam is, if you don't want to worry too much about the meaning and you are going literally like a computer from left to right reading, no problem. You can expertly develop that skill. You can say Vishishtartha Garbhitanam. You have to go a little slower initially, slowly you can speed up. But for simpletons like us who are not able to so precisely, autonomously read it, sometimes we look at the whole, okay? There is what you call a pictorial grab we get of the whole, okay? Then we start sequentially reading it, okay? That slowly you develop that.
Okay, sir. Vishishta Artha Garbhitanam.
No, don't break it like that. Don't break it like that. That will make it bad. Vishishtartha. You have to use the savarna. Dirgha.
गर्भितानां वाक्यानां प्रयोगे भारवीः अत्यन्त निपुणः.
So he was expert with artha garbita vakya. That's why bharavehe artha gauravam comes like that.
हितं मनोहारी च दुर्लभं वचः.
See, all as in napumsaka. That's why you have to carefully read. Hitam manohari. That's why hrasva ikara napumsaka shabda. Okay, vari shabdavat. Okay. So hitam manohari cha durlabam vachaha. So very, very pleasant manohari, and then very what you call cool and useful, and then very difficult. Durlabham, I mean not easy to get, that sense. Okay, that means quite significantly involved in getting the meaning. That kind of vachaha.
सहसा विदधित न क्रियाम् इत्यादं तस्य प्रयोगः एतम् अभिप्रायं समर्थयन्ति.
So see, hitam manohari cha durlabam vachaha, like that somewhere he is using. Okay. So now everything you have to think how to associate with vacha. How can I think of vachaha, which is napumsalika, which means a saying? How can I think of a saying as durlabha? My brain has to twist a little bit. Oh, difficult to get the meaning of, so durlabha, like this. Okay. So this artha gaurava is what you can immediately see even in the word durlabha. And manohari, for example, harati, so steals the mind. So of course this we know, Sanskrit is a master itself in generating words like that. It means it traps our mind. It is so attractive. That sense is there like that. Okay. So not every word may be artha gaurava, but durlabha definitely has an artha gaurava, we can see. Same way, sahasa vidadhita na kriyam. So don't carry out or deposit an action very quickly like that. Arthat, do it slowly, do it in a proper way, don't hurry. I mean, so a little bit of what you call play with words which are not ordinary. One has to work at it. That means there is some kind of panditya in his works.
Okay, sir. Read it slowly.
Like he is telling you also.
Okay, sir. Bharavehe arthagauram iti ukti. Bharavehe arthagauram gauravam iti uktihi api vimarshaka loke prasiddha.
Okay. Ukti is a strilinga ekavachana, so prasiddha. So this statement, ukti, called bharavehe, or which is literally bharavehe arthagauravam, vimarsha loke. What is vimarshaka? Vimarshaka is criticizer, critic, whatever, critic. Yeah, CRITIC, critic. So in the world of the critics also it is famous, that kind of thing. You cannot write Anvaya and Tatparya very easily. You have to think hard. That's the thing there.
Okay. Ekamiva mahakavyam likhitva api bharavihi swakavitvena pandityena varnana kaushalena cha kavi prapanche Vishishtam snanam praptavan.
Sthanam praptavan. So even with this one masterpiece, at least what we have now, we know to be associated with him. Who knows what we don't have. So even with that, he has obtained a great status. And then Kalidas, he has many masterpieces. This fellow has one masterpiece, is what is being told. So yeah, okay. So that is from Abhignana Shakuntala, a beautiful painting, rendition by the what's his name?
Raja Ravi Verma.
It's in Ravi Verma style, but yeah, it says here Ravi Verma. Signature is there, correct?
Yes,
So Raja
yes,
Ravi
sir.
Verma's painting, I thought somebody has copied his style, but it is Ravi Verma's painting only. Okay, and this is also another scene from Ravi Verma's painting world only. Lot of so he specialized in the initially when this litho color print started coming in India, no, he was a very sought after artist for doing these litho works, and so lot of beautiful lithos which are still living today through calendar prints, evergreen, and probably residing in the puja griha of every home in South India. Like
Mysore
his
Maharaja
Lakshmi.
Palace has, sir.
Yeah,
Mysore
yeah, his
Maharaja Palace
Maharaja's
has.
Yes, sir.
Jaganmohan Palace.
Hmm.
Jaganmohan Palace, if you go, you will see his
Yes, sir.
masterpieces in original. But we have calendar reprints, or what we call litho reprints of it in every household. My household, Lakshmi Devi, Saraswati, they are all Raja Ravi Verma's only. There is another one of, Sri Rama visiting the musician's house. What's his name? Yeah. So the Telugu musician's house.
Tyagaraja.
Tyagaraja's house, yeah. So all these paintings of his are unbelievably beautiful. They are adorning the puja griha of every household in South, a Hindu household. Yeah. Okay, so we'll move forward and attack Magha. We have to finish today this lesson. So we have to be a little quick. So Shiva Prasad will read quickly for us.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. गुर्जरदेशस्य राज्ञः श्रीवर्मलातस्य मन्त्री सुप्रभदेवः.
So Srivarmalataha iti tasya nama. Okay. So Gurjara. That means we are talking of Gujarat areas.
सुप्रभदेवस्य पौत्रः माघः इति श्रूयते.
So Pautraha means grandson. So this Suprabhadeva, who is a mantri, his grandson is Magha. Okay.
क्रिस्तशके सप्तमे शतके सः आसीत् इति विदुषाम् अभिप्रायः.
So they place him in 7th century.
माघः भारवेः अनन्तरकालीनः.
It's clear that he follows Bharavi. So that maybe they have some reference for that. Yeah.
शिशुपालवधं माघेन विरचितम् अद्वितीयं महाकाव्यम्.
So he worked on Shishupalavadha. So he also picked up a sub-story line of Mahabharata, which Krishna carrying out the execution of Shishupala after 100 mistakes by Shishupala towards Krishna. He had forgiven him that he is allowed to do 100 because his mother would have come to him and begged, saying that, please let him, don't punish up to 100. If he goes beyond that, I don't want to stop you like that. So very interesting story. So Shishupala Vadham has been beautifully recoded following the lines of Mahabharata description by Vyasa by this Magha Kavi.
भारवेः किरातार्जुनीयं परिशील्य तत्सदृशमेव काव्यं लेखनीयम् इति बुद्ध्या एव माघः शिशुपालवधं रचितवान् इति भासते.
Okay, means opinion of this author. Great kavis like that don't need such simple prachodanas. They're so talented, they're able to. But because it's their Bharavi has picked up the fight between Kirata and Arjuna. Kirata is being there actually Shiva's role play. So as the line, okay, and here he has picked up Shishupala and Krishna's fight as the kind of the thread to lean into. Yeah.
यतः बहुषु अंशेषु किरातार्जुनीयस्य साम्यम् एतस्मिन् काव्ये दृश्यते.
So there are many similarities in the way in which Kiratarjunia has been approached by Magha with respect to Bharavi. So an influence is seen beyond just a kalpana of this guy. So others, experts, that critics, whatever, there was a word for that in the earlier paras. So they also opine like that, perhaps. Continue, sir.
Magah Rajaniti Visharadah.
So he is an expert in Rajaniti. Whose Rajaniti is what the Artha Shastra of Kautilya or Chanakya. Okay, so that is the Shastra Grantha about Rajaniti, about the entire kingdom, how it should be run. Not Rajaniti doesn't mean only for the king. King is just one role. Hundreds of people have to play roles to conduct the kingdom in a proper way. So Rajaniti Visharadha. So this Maga seemed to be an expert in this Arthashastra knowledge.
Alankara Shastre Vyakarana Shastre cha tasya mahat pandityam asit.
So because he uses good Vyakarana variants, maybe he's using various lakaras smartly, and he's also using alankaras, just like Kalidasa was using lots of alankaras. This fellow is also using lots of alankaras. So that means he was not just, of course, if you have to do Kavya, you have to do this. Vyakarana, if without Vyakarana, there is no Samskrita. Without Alankara, there is no Kavya. Without subject knowledge, which is Rajaniti knowledge, okay, there is no what you call content that is of any weight, right? So, yeah, they are talented. Swakiyasya.
Swakiyasya nana vishayakasya aparasya cha ज्ञानस्य प्रदर्शनं कृतवान् अस्ति सः शिशुपालवधे.
So he has demonstrated his depth of knowledge on various subjects. Yeah.
नूतनशब्दानां प्रयोगे अपि सः अत्यन्तं निपुणः.
So he has used many smart compounds and derivations, which are probably not seen in the Kavya Prapancha before him. So he has kind of increased the Shishta Prayoga access to us. Okay.
शब्दानाम् अक्षयः संग्रहः एव तस्मिन् आसीत् इति वक्तुं शक्यते.
So there is like, his work is like a repository of words, you can say. That's what they're saying. It's like, so he doesn't waste his time reusing a certain word perhaps, and goes into another way of representing what the feeling, the same meaning is in another way. So that's the interesting aspect. So it's as if like, yes, that is his Vyakarana Shastra. So basically, he has an infinite repository of words, it seems, one reads his Kavya like that.
The Akshaya is infinite.
Akshaya means infinite, yeah. That which doesn't have an end. Kshaya means reduction.
Getting less. Huh?
Akshaya means without any
Shinoti,
reduction.
not getting less. Shinoti.
Yeah, it's
Like
a
Akshaya
huge.
Patram.
Akshaya Patram.
भारविहि इव मागः अपि एकमेव महाकाव्यं लिखित्वा अपि महाकविपदं प्राप्तवान्.
So looks like, easy to remember. Maga, there is one Kavya, Shishupalavadam. Bharavihi, one Kavya, Kirartarjuniyam. So two Kavis, and we can write a few things about that, some of this. So interesting read. So, yeah. Good. Thanks, Varya. Well done. Anne Varya, you are unmuted. You have a question? No. Oh, no problem.
I'm sorry,
So
while moving the phone. Sorry.
No problem.
Mahodaya?
Yes, Varya.
Yeah, the Akshayaha, can it be, the samasa is na Kshayaha?
Nai Samasa, correct.
Okay. So Nai Samasa, usually the meanings are all negative, no? Like Adharmaha, Adhanaha.
No, not negative. Negation of the other. That's all. It
Negation.
doesn't, overall, there is no negativity here, but it is negation. Kshaya itself is negative, if you want to see. So it's double negative. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Minus of minus is plus.
Yes. Dhanyavadam.
Arithmetic. So whom do I give now? Sudhir Mandal I already gave in the morning. I don't want to trouble him again. Subramanya Kumar has also read, I think. So others, please raise your hands and participate. Otherwise, I'll only call you guys out. Padma Shekhar, please read.
Yes, sir. Sri Harshah Kanyakubjasya नृपस्य विजयचन्द्रस्य आस्थान विद्वान् आसीत्.
So Kanyakubja, Sriharsha. So his kingdom is Kanyaku. Basically, he was only a Asthana Kavi. I mean, Asthana Kavi means the Pandit of the king's court. Vijaya Chandra is the name of the king.
Yeah. विजयचन्द्रस्य पुत्रस्य जयन्तचन्द्रस्य आस्थाने अपि सः आसीत् इति श्रूयते.
He was really long-lived. So he stayed on as the Asthana Kavi of his son also.
Yes.
He didn't have to fight wars, so he survived, I guess.
तस्य पिता श्रीहरिः.
So, okay. Sriharsha's father is Srihari. Why not?
माता Mamalla Devi.
Mamalla Devi. See, Kanyakubja is Kannauj of today. Okay, as we know, Kannauj like that. So Mamalla Devi. That sounds more like a southern name. Interesting, actually.
Shri Harshah 12th Shatake Asit.
12th century.
Yeah. Tarka Vyakarana Vedandishu Shastreshu.
Vedantadishu.
Yeah. Vedantadishu Shastreshu Shri Harshah Uddhama
No Mahaprana. Uddhama. No Mahaprana. Uddhama
Pandita. Pandita.
So it means superior, Pandita. Yes. So the Dama here means a destination. Uddhama means a higher destination. So a Pandit with a very high house or destination. So Vyakarana Vedantadishu. So Tarka. So in the argumentative logic Shastra, okay, Nyaya Tarka, Vyakarana, everybody needs to be that. Vedanta, okay, so he was little bit more tending towards philosophy aspect of our Shastra.
Sarvani api Puranani saha samyak janati sma.
It's also clear he had clarity about Puranas.
Shri Harshena Rachitam Mahakavyam Naishadhiya Charitam. Nala Damayantyoho Katha Atra Varnita Asti.
So there is some repetition from what we already know.
Shri Harshasya Bhasha Atyantam Praudha.
Means not like Gatavan, Kritavan, like this. For example, the Samskrita Bharati is writing all this Sanskrit, no? This is not Praudha Bhasha. This is Sarala Bhasha. Praudha Bhasha means you need certain clarity of lakaras, etc. before you can jump in.
Very refined and
high level.
Yeah. Shabda Karkashata Durukhya Kalpana Artha Kilmishtata.
Klishtata. Bhagini is struggling with Klishta Shabda only.
Klishta, sorry sir. Yes. Slesha Priyatha Cha Naishadhiya Charite Sarvatra Drishyate.
See, this is where you see Sanskrit climbs. And see, Shabda Karkashata. Karkasha means harsh. So, harshness of sounds. Okay. Now, normally we will take this to mean negative, right? Harshness of sounds. So actually, probably what they mean is that Karkashatva was not there perhaps. Okay. So you have to take it in that sense. And then Duruhya. Uhya means guessable. Duruhya means difficult to guess. Okay, I think a lot of my own voice is coming back in a coded way from Bhagini's microphone. But anyway, we'll survive that.
Is it so that?
Huh?
Because of
no, I think you are using a speaker phone type of arrangement rather than a headset, so there is some feedback. Doesn't matter. It's survivable. Don't worry. Duruhya Kalpana. That means an ability to imagine in a way that cannot be guessed by anyone. Like you're reading something, you will start guessing. Oh, next this will happen. No. Next something else will happen. He always shocks us, like many cinema directors do. Where you expect some love scene, you'll suddenly get a war scene like that. Continue, Bhagini. Sorry, I think we should also explain Artha Klishtata, the complexity of the meanings. Shlesha Priyata, his love for the Shlesha Alankara, where one word takes two different meanings or one sentence has two different interpretations. Naishadhiya Charite Sarvatra Drishyate.
ओके श्रीहर्षः अन्यान् अपि कांश्चित् ग्रन्थान् लिखितवान् इति उल्लेखः दृश्यते.
So it's clear that he has written other things. Yeah.
परन्तु ते सर्वे न उपलभ्यन्ते.
But we don't have them.
कण्ठनकण्ठकाद्यम् इति एकः ग्रन्थः उपलभ्यते.
Oh, there seems to be one that has survived. Khandana Khandakhadyam. So I don't know. He uses there itself. He has used a lot of alankara, shabda alankara in the name of the kavya only. So okay. So we don't know what. Oh, okay, here it is there. What is it?
Yes, sir. तस्मिन् ग्रन्थे तार्किकमतस्य खण्डनं कृतं दृश्यते.
Oh, he has argued against Tarka itself, saying, they're being very harsh. Maybe interesting. Anyway, so he not only worked on this kavya, what is his? Naishadiya Charita, right? So he not only worked on Naishadiya Charita, he has also worked on Shastrik commentaries, like Tarka related commentary. Very interesting. Okay. We don't know what other things.
The Shabda Karkashta, could it be puzzle? I mean, words.
I actually am not struggling with it. I mean,
some kind of.
I'll ask my Guru how. Yeah, Karkasha means harsh. So maybe we should not take it in the sense of harsh. Maybe there are some letters called Karkasha letters and some letters called Mrudu Vyanjanas. So maybe he is a master of using Karkasha Vyanjanas. That's how I look at it also. Potentially, Karkasha Vyanjana Pandityam. See, Khandana Khanda Khadyam is a Karkasha.
Okay, he's using Mahapranas maybe.
Not Mahaprana. Don't just extend the way you want. Okay. Oh. Karkasha Vyanjana means Alpa and Maha columns, but the first two columns.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. So we'll move forward. Oh, so, okay. How can we ignore this? So, looks like India used to, have some respect for this kind of ancient Indians. So they even have a stamp of Magha here. Interesting. 5 rupees also. Shishupala Vadam is written by the artist there. Okay, so this is a scene from Shishupala Vadam, as in Chandamama or something like that, which is a loss for our kids. Even if those books are published, I don't think our kids will read them. Some other beautiful paintings. I always have got a lot of appreciation for human artists. So this is Hamsa. She's releasing the Hamsa. And so this is Naladamayanti Katha only. All these are that. This is also that. This one, you see, is a Swayamvara. This we're going to see ahead, where she's confused by the many Nala-like characters. Okay, so we almost come to the end of this lesson. So let's answer this and you'll have mukti from this class today. So, Adho, you can have your hands raised if you wish to participate in answering. Then I'll call out you guys. Okay. Or maybe we can do some crowdsourcing. These are all you have to say is am or na. Because see the question. So we can crowdsource. You can keep yourselves unmuted and shout out. Adho likitani vakyani shuddhani uta ashuddhani iti likata. Shuddhani va uta ashuddhani va iti likata. So just write shuddham, ashuddham, something like that is enough. Okay? Don't write amna because we don't know. Shuddham, ashuddham is how you have to answer. Okay? So, satsangatihi punyam chuluki karoti. Ashuddham. Agham or papam chuluki karoti. Kila? Bahuli karoti is the other answer. Punyam bahuli karoti. See, that's what. Duri karoti duritam vimali karoti chetas chirantaram agham chuluki karoti. Bhuteshu kincha karunam bahuli karoti. Satsangatihi kataya kimna karoti pumsam. Chandramaha pratyupakara lipsaya kumudava bodham karoti.
Ashuddham.
Ashuddham. विना लिप्सा तथा करोति किं चन्द्रमाः प्रत्युपकारलिप्सया करोति गोभिः कुमुदावबोधं न इत्येव तत्र भावः हंसः दमयन्त्या प्रसादे मिलितः
अशुद्धम्
अशुद्धं प्रासादे
उद्याने
उद्याने उद्याने
मिलितः।
हंसं प्रेषयित्वा सा प्रासादं गच्छति इफ् यु रिमेम्बर् ओके न सो उद्याने ततः सुदूरे च I mean quite far from the उद्यान also यागशतेन इन्द्रपदवी लभ्यते शुद्धम because we know it's actually shatakratu so there is this concept of kratu being yajna one who has done 100 yajnas of certain purport and weight they are called shatakratus and they will immediately get the Indra padavi so they can go share the seat of Indra literally so for example in the Raghuvamsha storyline
does not allow Raghu.
Dilip tries to get the Shatakratu Padavi. But there's a lot of Vigna by Indra because he's afraid for his seat. So he creates Vigna to steal the horse. Because it's a Ashwamedha Yaga where they dispatch the horses with the Sainya. Wherever the horse go, either you fight or you have to demit to the leadership of the king who has sent the horse. So the horse itself is stolen by Indra in a very kapata way by becoming Adrishya and all that. Somehow, of course, Raghu later with the help of Nandini or somebody like that, he finds out where he is and all that. But he cannot get the punya of the 100. He will get the punya of the 100th yajna, but I mean his father will get the punya of the 100th yajna, but not the Indra Padavi. Like that, some arrangement will be there. After a big fight between Raghu and Indra. Very colorful. दिलीपः विचारमूढः अस्ति
अशुद्धं
पाप तथा सिंहः वदन् अस्ति सिंहः तथा चिन्तयति परन्तु साक्षात् सः न तथा नास्ति ओके सो नैव यद्यपि सिंहः तथा वदति एकं पदम् अनेकान् अर्थान् वदति चेत् श्लेषः Shuddham. That is the very definition of Shlesha. Sometimes the entire Vakya will take a different meaning due to this. Arthadvayam tadadikam va. Meghadutam kinchana mahakavyam.
Ashuddham.
Khandakavyam eva. Dutakavyeshu ekam khandakavyam. Yadyapi Kalidasena virichitam natu mahakavyam. Khandakavyam eva. Apicha tasmin dutakavyam iti tasya vibhagah. Bharavinā बहूनि काव्यानि लिखितानि शुद्धम् एकमेव किरातार्जुनीयम् इति एकमेव किरातार्जुनीयस्य साम्यं शिशुपालवधे बहुषु अंशेषु दृश्यते शुद्धम् तत् पठित्वा एव ते वदन्ति किल भारवेः उदाहरणं स्वीकृत्य एव अत्र श्रीहर्षः शिशुपालवधं रचितवान् इति तत्र तदेव माघेन क्षम्यताम् किरातार्जुनीयस्य साम्यं शिशुपालवधे बहुषु अंशेषु दृश्यते फिनिश्ड सॉरी नैषधीयचरिते नलदमयन्त्योः कथा उपवर्णिता शुद्धं दैट इज द होल थिंग अबाउट नैषध बिकॉज नैषधः एव नलः ओके सो नेक्स्ट सेगमेंट रिक्तस्थानानि पूरयता सो वी कैन ट्राई क्राउड सोर्सिंग उपमानोपमेय सादृश्यम् उक्तं चेत् रूपकम् उपमा सादृश्यं सारी क्षम्यतां सादृश्यम् इज इक्विवेलेंस सो not complete same okay अभेदः is different from सादृश्यम् okay उपमा इति अलङ्कारः एव सी उपमानोपमेयोः सादृश्ये उपमा इति तस्य कथनम् okay उपमानोपमेयोः अभेदः उक्तश्चेत् रूपकम् इति अलङ्कारः so actually we are collecting the lakshana katana through this through this exercise interesting so metaphor उपमानोपमेयोः साम्ये रूपकालङ्कारः mug these things okay सामान्येन विशेषस्य विशेषेण सामान्यस्य वा समर्थनं कृतं चेत् I've seen so many examples even in the Subhashitas today. Very good. Okay, then Upamana Matram Uktam Chet.
अतिशयोक्ति
Atishayoktihi. Because Simhaha agacchati. Remember that. Upamana matram uktam chet Atishayoktihi. Mean excessive equivalence. You can say letter a little bit. But it's a type of alankara. Why not? Maybe some kings deserve to be called like that. So that's that. Good. We learned some Lakshana Kathana. Okay. This is important in your scrapbook to remember. Okay. Shastrajnyaha vigrahavakyam uktva samasanama likata.
Shastram
जानाति
Shastram janati iti shastrajnyaha.
उपपदसमासः
Upapada samasaha. Because jnaha doesn't have a standalone meaning. It is generated from the janati converted to jnaha. So there is a upapadatva there. Upapada samasaha. Samasa nama.
Samasasya nama.
षष्ठी तत्पुरुष
Samasasya nama. Sashti tatpurusha. Very good. So don't conclude karmadharya samasa iti nama like that, because no, there is no name like samasa. Samasasya nama bahuvri iti kimapi.
It's actually confusing. Huh?
Yeah, but once we analyze a bit, we appreciate the correct pick. Mukha chandraha.
Mukham
chandraha iva. So Mukham eva chandraha. Very good. Mukham chandraha iva. Mukham eva chandraha. Like this kind of thing. So what is this? Mukham eva chandraha. Rupaka karmadarayaha. Okay. Or avadharana purvapada, because the rupaka has not been identified directly in the book, but it's called rupaka type of avadharana. Okay. Eva is there. That's why. Okay. So somewhat like abeda. Okay, so there is a connection to that, but in the samasa, very interesting. So the samasa embeds an alankara. So chandraha iva mukam yasya saha upamanottara bahuvrihi. Chandramukaha. Okay, chandramukaha is a upamanottara pada bahuvrihi. Upama uttara pada. Mukha chandraha iti. Yadi mukha chandraha iti asti chet. Chandraha iva mukam yasya saha mukha chandraha tari upamanottara pada bahuvrihi, you can call it. Okay. If you are indirecting it to another person. But if we are calling that person itself as mukha chandra due to his face being like a moon, that without indirection, that is a karmadharaya.
Like Sri Ramachandra.
With a rupaka alankara. There is still a kind of third person association, but this is more about Chandra itself than the third person. But here it is bahuvrihi. Upamanottara pada bahuvrihi. Mukha chandraha. Chandraha iva mukam yasya saha.
The mukham chandraha eva also can be
Eva chandraha.
pada karma.
No, the Chandra coming later, no, forces eva. Is Chandra mukaha. Chandramukam, actually mukha. Chandramukam, then that would be Chandraha iva mukham.
Okay.
That is still a karmadharaya. Okay. Upamana purvapada karmadharaya. That is also kind of a samanadikarana karmadharaya only. But it's depending on the context. So suppose you are saying, oh, Pashya, Mukha Chandraha agacchati. That is a Rupaka type of application. So it is not a Bahuvrihi technically. Because it's about Chandra. He is looking like a moon face. Okay. But Mukha Chandraha Ramaha agacchati as a Visheshana. Then it is a Bahuvrihi.
Bahuvrihi. Then it's a...
Yeah. So context defines it. Sadanaha.
धनेन सह
वर्तते इति सह पूर्वपद bahuvrihi. Because the one with the money is a third person. So dhanena saha vartate ayam iti saha purvapada bahuvrihi. Nirmakshikam. Makshikanam atva makshikasya. Makshikanam, they never occur in singles. So makshikanam abhavaha nirmakshikam. Avyayi bhavaha. Correct. Makshikanam abhavaha avyayi bhavaha. Nir is the kind of upasarga. But
Negative.
this falls, this pradi set for here falls in the avyaya class rather than the pradi class. And at somewhere earlier in the classroom, I may have referred to this as pradi samasa. Don't ignore my statement. These are not pradi samasa. Avyaya bhava is a major class. Pradi samasa, there is a subclass. We will probably teach.
But sometimes you can get confused, no? Because it's an avyaya. So you
No. This is is clearly because
this is clearly
ekavachana avyaya nirmakshikam, like that. Okay. Ekavachana sense is there. Avyaya doesn't have a vachana, but I'm saying ekavachana sense is there. Yeah.
so that's you conclude that it's avyaya bhav.
Yeah, because the final result is avyaya also. There in pradi samasa it need not be.
Correct.
When we see that, yeah. Okay, all right. See, now what you guys need to do now, we have learned this in bits and pieces over many weeks actually. You have to look at them side by side. You have to make individual sheets for each of them and look at them side by side and compare.
Those which are confusing.
Get better grasp of the variation. Okay. Yeah. Maybe at the end of learning everything through these classes, if you reread, no, second reading will help you better.
Easier.
Yeah. Because you already know what the other thing is. That's why. So with that, we end today's class. Thank you very much. So we will catch up tomorrow, Sunday. We still have 2 sessions.
Sir, I had to ask.
Namaste, sir. Namaste.
Namaste. Only those who are done can leave the class. I think somebody had a doubt and wanted me to stand by. So I am standing by for those who have questions. I will keep recording because it's useful for all students. Yeah.
ధన్యవాదాలు.
Please ask Bhagini question.
In the story Kavya Katha initially, there is one word which you said is iti sa sakhihi suchitavati. You said it's
Sakhihi dvitiya bahuvachana.
I couldn't find this dvitiya bahuvachana anywhere. It was only plural. Sakhihi was plural, or in the masculine it was
Sakhi sakyau sakyaha nadi nadyau nadyah nadihi. You see that?
So
Please
that
check.
is not dual, na? It is bahuvachan.
I said bahuvachana only. Where did I say dvivachana?
I'm so sorry, but in the recording it came as dual, so I was a bit confused.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think if I have said that, I am in error. It is bahuvachana.
That is what I just got confused.
If I said dvivachana, I apologize.
No, sir. It's okay. I'm just wondering, I got confused, so I'm telling it. One more thing. Maam bandhun saha nalha eka evaha samartha. How I translated, because there was a bit of confusion there. Ki as for me, I'm a brother like. I think Nala is the only one who's samartha. This is what I call, like Maam Bandhu.
Bandhum. Actually, that's what we were arguing. There is, you cannot catch me, Bhagini. Only Nala is able to catch me. You already undergone the sufferance of getting caught by Nala. So it is simple grasping only. Don't take too much other imagination.
Okay.
Bandhum means to bind, to hold, to rest.
Astu. I'm thinking like
Actually, that's why Bandhum is the, I think there is some spell there. I need to check this form.
Yeah, I got it now.
Bandhum is the word, I think. Bandhanam kartum is the meaning eventually.
Understood. Tumun.
Tumun, but the form cannot be Bandhum. I think it's Bandhum, I think.
Okay.
Maybe there are 2 forms. We will check ashtadhyayi.com.
Sure.
Badhyate is the dhatu. We can check it by search.
I will. So, Astu, sir. That's it.
Okay. Somebody else has any question? Okay. I think we are done. Thank you very much.
Dhanyavad.
Namaste.